Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. We are going to begin our cause webinar now. Just some housekeeping notes. This webinar will be recorded, so if you joined us or have to leave early, or you have friends who, after you've watched this, say they really need to watch this, they need to know this, a link will be emailed to all of you, and it will also be posted on the iGive YouTube channel and at support.igive.com in the webinar archive. So we are going to keep our participants muted throughout this webinar, but please ask questions. I can speak for myself. We love tailoring our webinars to what people are interested in, and the best way for us to do that is for you to ask questions. So there is, if you follow that little red arrow, a little box that says questions on it. If it has a plus sign right now, you click it, it opens up. You can type in the question, and you can send it to us, and we will be happy to try and answer it. We will either answer it during the course of the webinar or at the end. And if your dashboard does go away, because sometimes that does happen, please click on that orange box with the white arrow, and it will expand your panel again. So, good morning. I am Lena Scott. I am the cause manager, and I am joined today here present with me by Sandy Schleicher, our Chief Technology Officer, and Rob Grosshandler is with us virtually.
Hi, guys.
So what we are going to cover today is the power of iGive, and we're going to look at social media, so many options and ways that we connect, and how to connect and leverage the iGive platforms. Then, because we do know that there are some of you who are new out there, we're going to cover some iGive basics, and then, of course, we will save some time for Q&A. If this webinar goes about the same flow as most of the others we've done, it should be about 45 minutes before we get to the Q&A. So, the power of iGive. You know, one of the most interesting things to me about iGive is that we've been around since 1997. So we are one of the oldest, most established entities of this type on the block. We were actually at a conference a couple weeks ago, and they recognized iGive for all of the ways that we give back to the community and the ways that we enable our supporters to give back to the causes that mean the most to them. Right now, we have about 350,000 members. A typical shopper can raise over $100 for his or her cause just by shopping the way she normally does. We have over 1,700 retailers. We're getting really close. I'm hoping that our store team is going to be able to tell me soon that we can change that number from 17 to 1,800. I think we're getting pretty close, Sandy, aren't we?
It was 1776 this morning.
1776. So we're getting close. And we have about 35,000 causes. And one of the other really unique things about iGive is that we allow causes large and small. Some of you who are listening may be from a big established cause that's been around for years and has thousands and thousands of members. And some of you may be a really micro local cause that doesn't have a lot of other fundraising options, but iGive is there for you and is able to support you in what you're doing. All told, the shoppers who are members of iGive have raised $8.5 million. And that money has gone back to their favorite causes and their charities. And I think that that's just phenomenal. So, how do the successful causes do it? Well, social media is really one of the ways that iGive grows. iGive was founded on the idea of sharing with other people. So she told two friends, and she told two friends, and so on, as that old commercial goes. But it really is true. The more we talk about how iGive is working for our cause, the more money we have to raise. And in today's world, there are so many options. You can just look at this infographic, and I mean, look at 1 billion active users on Facebook alone, let alone any of these other sources. If you are out there talking about your cause and talking about how iGive is helping your cause, you have the potential to reach so many more people than if you're just sitting at your local coffee shop and saying, hey, I do this, I do that. Social media opens up so many doors for so much positive communication. So iGive has chosen to focus our social media efforts really in 5 areas. And we'll talk later. It doesn't mean that those have to be the areas you focus on, but these are the areas that we're focusing on: Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, and YouTube. And we'll sort of go over each of those areas and how you can interact with iGive in those areas. So iGive, connect with us and watch your donations grow. Why? Well, one of the things that we found is we're a very data-driven organization, and so we do a lot of research, and we find that causes that connect their fan pages on Facebook with iGive see an average of 395% more donations. Why? Because it's that soft, friendly reminder. It's that opportunity to share with your supporters or for them to pass it along to their friends about what is possible when you use iGive. And we post statistics. You can promote your join link. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on. And news of how your supporters are helping your cause to earn donations. I will tell you that I personally, my daughter's on a skating team, and we'll probably come up again later, but I posted on our page, on our cause page, I had it auto-posted that I had done some shopping for an upcoming skating trip that we had. And a couple of other moms were like, oh, I forgot that I could use iGive, and not only can I get the stuff we need for this trip, but I can also help support the organization. So having that opportunity to post that information and be that gentle reminder is always a positive.
And just to add in here, one of the important things about social media, and I'm sure we'll talk about this to more detail as we get further in here, is that it really needs to be a conversation. It's not one-sided. If all you've got going on your Facebook page is talking about iGive and not talking about what it is that your cause is doing, that putting up pictures of animals that your cause is saving, or kids in whatever after-school program you might be supporting, or medical research, whatever it is, it needs to be a two-way conversation. That's what it's social, right? That's the key part of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Sandy. You are so correct. And we will discuss that a little bit more, but it is about having a conversation. So, Sandy, maybe you could walk us through what the options are on Facebook and how it all works.
All right. Well, what you've got on the page here that Len is showing you is 4 samples of the kinds of messages that we can automatically make sure get posted to your Facebook fan page at various times of the month that you control. So the first thing probably to tell you about this is we're talking about Facebook fan pages, not your own personal timeline. So if you've got a personal account on Facebook and you create a page, that's a fan page. So
we will get to how to post on your personal timeline later.
We will.
Okay.
So it's really easy to set this up, but let me talk first about the things that we can post. So the messages that we try to post out there are telling people about how your cause is already using iGive and it's making a difference for your cause. So when we do a monthly statistic information, how much money people raise through shopping, and that comes out around on the first of the month, I think. And of course, you can turn that on and off. All of these are configurable. You can turn them on, off, set different times, etc. A really big impact one is when your cause is getting a check. So when we're sending checks out, which happens once a month, usually between the 10th and 15th of the month, right when those are the day before they're ready to go off and be printed and sent out in the mail, our database is updated and we can automatically post information out to your Facebook page saying, hey, your cause is receiving a check for $25, $75, however much you've raised. I do want to remind you about checks. All of your supporters' money goes into an account for your cause and gets all added together. And anytime your cause earns $25 or more, you've accrued that amount in that account, we write you a check. There is a slight delay of 75 days. That way we can account for returns. If somebody bought something, you get credit for it, but then they return it. We can't
give you a
donation when there was no donation to make there, right? So we accrue that money. It's paid in arrears about 75 days, and every time you hit $25 in that balance, you get a check. So other things that we post about are your join link. We're going to talk more about that in a few minutes. And the last thing is shopping activity. And this can be really powerful because, first of all, what we're talking about here is if Lena is supporting her ice skating cause, I said ice skating. I thought I said ice cream cause. Sorry
Oh, an
about
ice cream cause would be good. Did you know that last week was National Eat Ice Cream for Breakfast Day? I really like that day. I think that's kind of
I
fun.
didn't, but that sounds wonderful. How did I miss that?
I don't know.
Anyway, so Lena supports her ice skating cause, and she goes shopping at JCPenney's. If Lena has given iGive permission to share that information with her cause, and the cause has given us permission to share that on your Facebook page, then we can pass that all through, and on your Facebook page you can see something like Lena just supported Buffalo Grove Ice Skating Co-op by shopping at JCPenney. Click here to see how you can help too.
But it doesn't say what I ordered. That part stays anonymous so that you don't have to worry that everyone's in your business.
That's true. Absolutely true.
So, Sandy, how do you get to this page here if you wanted to connect your cause page?
So if you are logged onto the iGive website, and let me kind of take an aside here about that. So everybody who uses iGive has to have a personal account. Of course, it's free. You sign into your personal account on iGive, and then if you're the cause administrator for your cause, you have a second set of login information to log into your cause administration pages.
That's not an email address, that's a number.
That's right. So it's an ID number and a separate password from your personal iGive account. Anyway, when you go to the iGive site and you're logged in, you'll see a set of links across the top of the screen, navigation links, and one of them says cause. So you click that link, and that will take you to what we call the cause dashboard. And there's all kinds of statistics on the cause dashboard. Anybody who supports your cause can see that. They can see how much money was raised, when you're getting your next check, etc. But what's important for setting up Facebook and some of these other options that we're going to be talking about is that there are a couple of menus located on the sides of that screen. We call them menu wings, if you will. Little white boxes. You click them and it'll expand a little panel that gives you all kinds of options. And on that panel, the one on the left side, is a link that says Connect Facebook to iGive. And when you click that,
This is the page you'll see then.
well, the first thing you have to do is log into your cause. So you'll use that ID and password, and then you'll come to this. You'll see this, gives you some examples, and then you just click the Get Started button at the bottom, and you will be rocking and rolling in a short time. Basically, all that's going to happen is it's going to take you over to Facebook. If you're not logged in, you're going to have to log in, and then it's going to ask you for permission. Okay? First, in order to post to pages that you manage, first you have to give us a little bit of permission to talk to your personal account. So you're going to see that. And then the second permission is to manage your pages. And once you do that, you'll come up back over to iGive. You'll see your page listed there. You click the link that says Link Now, and bada bing, bada bing. You are ready to go, and you'll get to this page that shows you everything set up, gives you the default options for how often we're going to post information to your page and what information is going to be posted. You can do a test post there. If you ever want to change this, you just come back to this page. You don't have to go through all that setup stuff again. You just come, it takes you right to this page, and you can change the settings. And if for some reason you even need to disconnect your link between Facebook and iGive, you can do that right from this page also.
And I think that's important, that we want you to know that we respect the amount of times that you want us to post. So, you know, you can feel free to change it. Sometimes, too, we've heard from causes that say, well, we're doing a big campaign right now, and we really need to be focusing on something else. So they come in and they turn it off. They don't disconnect. They just turn off it, and they put it all on no and none. And then they come back when the campaign is over and put it back up again. So you have to make it work for you as well.
And the important thing here is that we give you total control over this. We're not doing anything that you have not seen exactly what we're showing you that you're going to be able to do.
So now, if I am not the administrator of my cause page, I can give that administrator of my cause page the cause ID and password if I choose to do that to let them hook it up, or I can set it up on my own personal page, right?
Right. So what Lena showed, so in the scenario I was talking about a minute or so ago, Lena shopped at JCPenney to support her group. She wants that to hit her personal timeline so that her friends who, at least 20 or 30 of them who are part of this skating organization see this, and they go, oh, gee, yeah, I should do this too. So to do this, you go to your personal settings page. Again, back on the iGive site, in the top navigation bar, there is a link that says Settings. Click that. It'll bring you to this top page that's shown on your screen right now that says My Settings. Click the option on the top right that says Facebook Settings, and it'll bring up the page shown on the bottom. You tell us how often you want us to do this, which ones you want us to do, which ones you don't want us to do, and the one that Len is showing you right here has already been set up. In the case of somebody new doing this, it would say connect to Facebook. And in that case, they're going to have to go and sign into Facebook and give that very first permission we talked about, and then, again, they'll be rocking and rolling.
All right. So moving on to Twitter, I have to say I've become a huge fan of Twitter. Why? Because, first of all, it's short and easy way to communicate things, but also I find that I can connect with other people who have similar interests to me by using hashtags. And one of the things that we're trying to do is start a conversation, like Sandy mentioned before, about giving. So we've created the hashtag iGiveDoYou. Now, sometimes iGiveDoYou means money, but sometimes it's of your time. Or if you look here, I think that we had National Hug Month at one point, and so, or it was Give a Friend a Hug Day. And so I posted something on the iGive Twitter feed about giving hugs and used the hashtag iGiveDoYou. So you can allow us, just like you do with Facebook, to post on your site those kind of extra posts we're not doing, but the join link and the supporter shopping activity and the check notices and the monthly recaps, we will post that on your behalf.
The same kind of stuff as we talked about with Facebook, just in 140 characters or less.
Exactly. And then we want you to join us in that conversation and get people talking about how they use iGive to support your cause, or retweet favorite quotes so that people know that you're thinking about giving, you're thinking about what's going on. Also, although people will talk about 140 characters, images are also great for Twitter, and you could tweet an image of how the funds raised through iGive are helping your cause. And just don't forget that hashtag iGiveDoYou so that we can track it, because we can also help promote it. So again, how do you connect? You would go to that same place, you click Cause in the upper right corner, you click on Cause menu and options, and then you click on Connect Twitter, and it would ask you if you want to do that for your cause, get started, you would authorize it. So same kind of process as with Facebook, and if you were doing it on your personal Twitter account, not your cause Twitter account, you go to Settings and click Twitter.
So Twitter's just a little bit different. You don't create sub-accounts from your account, so you actually have a separate account for your cause.
Correct. So people ask all the time, are there more ways to leverage our social media platforms, and why? Well, one of the things we also use is YouTube. This webinar will be posted on YouTube, as are sometimes if we have a TV spot, or we were on Daytime Columbus in Columbus, Ohio last year, or other kinds of opportunities. We will post those up on YouTube, and you can share those with other members of your organization, and you can introduce more supporters to the iGive concept through YouTube. You can also do the same with Pinterest. One of the really neat things about Pinterest is that you can pin things to your wall and get people talking and sharing about them. So sometimes you might want to put a wish list up of something your cause is looking for and pin it to your wall with a special link to iGive. Sandy, you were talking about something last night that maybe you'd like to share.
Sure. So again, back on the iGive site, we have this concept of favorite stores. So places that maybe you shop at frequently. Mine are REI, and for stuff for me, for my wife, I get a lot of stuff from JCPenney's.
I like Etsy.
A lot of people like Etsy. Anyway, and I like Thinky a lot.
Well, he's our chief technology officer, so that doesn't really surprise me.
To like Thinky.com. Anyway.
I also have a cute little cat, though, and I like to buy her things online, too.
So If you haven't figured this out, we're not reading a script here. This is totally ad lib, everybody. Um, anyway, so we have this idea of favorite stores that you can set anywhere on the site. We've got little heart icons. You click them, you add a favorite store. Great. You can access those favorite stores from the website, from our apps, from the iGive button. Great again. But if you go to the My Favorite Stores page on iGive, and again, that is in that top navigation bar, there's a link that says My Stores. If you click that, it'll take you to the My Stores page. And for each store you have listed, we provide to you what we call a gift registry link. It's an anonymous link that anybody can use. They don't have to be an iGive's user, an iGive member, and they can shop using that link, and their purchase will then get credited to your cause through your account. So the initial idea with this was for wedding showers and baby showers, things like that. But what we found is that causes use these things, especially in conjunction with Pinterest. Let's take the example of an animal shelter, right? You need cat food, you need dog food, you need bedding materials, you need dog soap, I don't know, probably 1,000 things you need for a shelter. And you make a list of things you need on Pinterest, and you post with that a link to PetSmart or 1-800-PETS or whatever store you want to use up there using your gift registry link. And that way, even if people aren't part of iGive, they can, number one, get you what you need, but number two, you get a donation automatically at the same time. So you get a double win there.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great way of doing things. Not only are you getting the item, but you're also getting the cash back. So you put those links into your Pinterest, or to be honest, you can also put them in Instagram. The other thing that we like Instagram for, we're new with Instagram, I will say, is that we like sharing good things that are going on in the community, whether they are iGive stores or not. So the reason I put this particular picture up here from Instagram is that we do have a new blog. Our new blog is called merchantgoodworks.igive.com, and it is a place where both merchants that are connected with iGive and merchants that are just out in the general world are doing great things. And we're also trying to post some of that information on Instagram as well. So feel free to post something about your cause or post something about a store that's doing something great in your community and tag iGiveDoYou so that it can be a part of the conversation. Back to that merchantgoodworks.igive.com. There is a link to it in the bottom of the iGive page. There is also, it is featured on our Facebook page periodically and in our newsletter periodically. If you have a story, there is a place on merchantgoodworks.igive.com where you can just go and submit your story. And again, big business, small business, something very local, something global, we like to hear them all, and they do not actually have to be a store that is participating with iGive.
Just to take it aside here, I just want to remind everybody that we are going to have a Q&A session at the end of this. So please, we love to answer your questions. Make sure that you open up that little question box in GoToMeeting here, type in your questions, and we may answer them along the way as we're talking about certain topics, or we may answer them at the end, but we will try and answer every question that gets asked.
So we know that there are a lot of other social media options out there, and I think that the message that we want to get out is use what's right for you. iGive, as a staff and as a team, we've picked the ones that we think are working for us right now, but that doesn't mean that there aren't other causes that are using different kinds of tools like Snapchat or Vine or Google or LinkedIn or Instagram. You know, any of these are great tools for you to use in the way that it works for you. On the iGive homepage, back when you click on that cause and then that cause menu and options, there are images and flyers and blurbs that are out there. We are always also working on creating new materials. So if there's stuff that you really need and you aren't seeing it, please let us know. But you should also feel free for you to post it. And by the way, these social media tools are great ways to share with other causes. So if you've created a really cool flyer that you just love and you're willing to let other, say, animal shelters use your flyer, post it on social media and say, hey, this is out here. Feel free to take this and modify it with your own cause information if that works for you. I think that the key is experimenting. The key is trying to figure out what works for you and use the tools that we have and then create your own tools.
And again, with social media, it's social. It's about conversations. It's not one-sided. So try and in addition to the things that iGive can do automatically for you, post content that will draw your supporters in and start a two-way conversation. That's really key. One of our trying to say this in English. A lady from a cause sent in a question prior to the webinar asking us about flyers and ad blurbs and stuff like that. Lena talked about that very briefly a moment ago. We have stuff like that. It's available. It's customizable. Again, that's on the cause link. It takes you to the cause dashboard. And then on both of the wings, the left and right side, there's various information. There's PDFs that we can automatically generate for you that already have your cause information in them that you can hand out or email out. There's Word documents that you can customize, and there's graphics that you can put on your site or in social media.
Terrific. Thank you, Sandy. That's important, useful information. So I think I mentioned earlier that we love data. And I will say one of the most important things I need to share with you is that we do respect your privacy. So if you as a member say, no, I don't want my cause to know who I am, then unfortunately your cause is not going to know who you are. But if they do, if your supporters are saying, yes, I don't want to be anonymous, I want to let the cause know, you have data at your fingertips. We have places on the website.
Again, from the cause dashboard.
From the cause dashboard. That will give you a list of all of your iGive.com supporters, and will tell you who is currently out there. You see, we just pulled out the little box that's on the right side, and you can use these links below to generate a list of email addresses that would be appropriate. So this one is, thanks for being a part of our last check from iGive. It would give you a list of the email addresses of people who have contributed to the most recent check that your cause received.
And so what you're going to get with these, and Lena will show you an example here in a minute, is you're going to get the list of email addresses that kind of fall into that category, a suggested subject for the email, which you can use, not use, edit, customize however you want, and again, a suggested message. And you just cut and paste this stuff into your own email program so the message comes from you. And that's really important, that it's coming from you and not separately from iGive, because again, many of your supporters don't know who iGive is, or don't remember, or it's not personal coming from iGive. But if it comes from you, then it matters.
Absolutely. So that was the sample. The other thing we talked about earlier was the custom join link. And, this gets into the iGive Basics section. How do you get people connected? Well, you've got to get them to join. One of the simplest ways to join is that when your group listed with iGive, it got a custom join link. And by the way, if you don't like that custom join link, we can change it. If you go to support.igive.com and open a ticket and tell us what you're looking for, we can see if we can modify your join link to match your own personal needs. So, but in this case, this is Boy Scout Troop 67, and their join link is igive.com/BSA67. So if they give out that link and someone uses that link, it takes them to this page, which is a little different than the join page for someone just going to igive.com, because it's already pre-populated Boy Scout Troop 67 as the cause that they wish to support. Then all they have to do is first name, last name, zip code, email, and create a password, and they are an iGive member. It's that simple and that quick. That join link does save that step, though, of searching and looking to make sure, do I have the right Boy Scout Troop 67? Is that the one that I wanted in my town versus the one that was in a different town? So that join link is really, really critical and saves a lot of time.
And you can use that in your emails, in the signature for your emails. You can use that, put it in your newsletter, put it on your website, of course.
Yeah.
Use it all over the place to help your supporters register to help you via iGive really easily.
So after people join, they are asked if they want to install the iGive button. And I will say that support at iGive.com gets a lot of questions about this iGive button because it is a little confusing to some people. Basically, the iGive button is a browser add-on, and it is optional. But the reason that we like it and the reason we think it's important is because it makes it easy for you to remember. Look, as Sandy and I said, we have 1,776 stores. People ask me all the time, they're like, is this an iGive store? I'm like, hang on, I got to go look it up because I don't remember. And if I don't remember and all I do most of my week is pay attention to iGive, no one else is going to remember either. So the iGive button gets installed on your browser. You'll see that on either the right or the left side of your browser, you'll see that little seed icon that's in the blue box right there, and it just kind of hangs out there. And if you're on a site that has nothing to do with iGive, nothing happens. You just are on your own site. iGive doesn't get any information. Nobody knows anything. It's just there. If you go to a site that's an iGive store, then it recognizes that you have the iGive button, and one of two things happens. Either you get a little green triangle in the bottom right-hand of your corner that says iGive on, save more, and that triangle, by the way, also has the coupons and any special offers or special deals for that store. It helps you to remember that that's an iGive store. Or sometimes you'll see a little red drop-down. Best Buy is one of those. It has a red drop-down that says, yes, please confirm that I want my purchase today to benefit my favorite cause. And they're just asking you to just sort of reconfirm that you really want this to be an iGive purchase. If you don't, just close it, and it won't do anything.
Yeah, that's an option that stores want to have, and they choose whether to allow things to happen totally automatically or to require you to make that extra click. And we hope, and your cause hopes, that people are making that extra click.
And then what happens is that you then are now going off to the store's website. So in this case, you're at QVC, and you're shopping at QVC, and iGive has no idea what you're doing. We don't know what you're looking at. We don't know what you're buying, but we've given you an anonymous ID number, and that anonymous ID number tells the merchant this is an iGive shopper, and this is iGive shopper 12345. And once your purchase is completed, QVC sends iGive a message back that says, shopper 12345 spent $30.45. And so then we put that together with whatever the percentage donation that QVC is giving, and we can assign that money to your cause. But it is anonymous. We don't know what you're purchasing. We don't know anything about that. If you don't want to use the iGive button, we do have apps for the iPhone, iPad, and Android, and you can download those from the iOS App Store or from the Google Play Store, whichever store you use to get your apps from. And they are free. And the key difference between the apps and the button is that for the button, for almost every store, for the button, you just go to that store and shop. We'll get to that one big exception in a second. But for the apps, you do have to open up the app and then click on the store link first before you go shopping, or else you will not get credit.
Right. It doesn't watch your Safari browser or your Chrome browser on your iPad or on your Android app for you.
Right.
You have to use the app to do the shopping.
So, and iGive.com always works too. You can always sign in. You can always shop by clicking on the links at iGive.com or in an iGive email or in an iGive newsletter, and start your shopping that way if you prefer not to use one of our apps or the iGive button. So, Sandy, the one store that's different.
So the rules are just a little bit different with Amazon, how they deal with partners like us. And what they do is, while we can attribute your purchases at Amazon to your cause, right, the skating organization that Lena supports, Amazon doesn't let us attribute it to Lena supporting the ice skating cause. So when we get data back from Amazon, we know that the ice skating cause needs to get the donation, and we take care of that. But Lena is never going to see that purchase information on her personal statistics page. It'll show up on the cause dashboard as an anonymous Amazon purchase. And that's, unfortunately, we're just not allowed to, we don't have the data, actually, to be able to show member-level purchases. But when people do shop through Amazon using iGive, your cause will get credit. And that will make those donations happen for you. And then the other important thing to talk about here on this slide is what we call the double dip. So about a year and a half, 2 years ago, Amazon launched this program called Smile.
I apologize. That just all went away. Keep going.
I'm still seeing it. Called Smile.Amazon.com. And basically, Smile.Amazon.com is iGive, specifically for Amazon, run by Amazon.
Well, but there are some differences.
It's their own program. It's
Yeah.
completely separate from iGive. It has nothing to do with us. But they allow charities who are very specifically 501c3 charities to have donations made automatically when people shop at Amazon, starting from smile.amazon.com. What we've done is we've hooked up iGive to take you, when you go through iGive, to smile.amazon.com, so you can get both the iGive donation as well as a Smile donation when you go through and you make any purchases that way. Now, like I said, the cause on Amazon, first of all, they manage that whole thing. It has nothing to do with iGive. We can't answer questions. If you're having issues, you got to talk to Amazon. But if your cause is on Amazon and you can get it listed on there, you can support your cause to
But
win.
if your cause isn't on Amazon, Sandy, and this is part of why I put this screen up. So I have two causes that are really dear to my heart. My daughter's skating team is one, but the Ryan Briere Foundation is another one. And it's a foundation that is for kids in memory of the son of a friend of mine that I love supporting, and they are on Amazon Smile. So when I do an Amazon purchase, I split my donation. So the iGive part of the donation goes to the skating team, and the other part, the Amazon Smile part of my donation, will go to the Ryan Briere Foundation. So I can actually support two causes all in one, and that's a great option as well. So if you can get your cause listed with Amazon Smile and you can double dip that same donation, great. If not, consider splitting the donation. But one of the key things is that you must start at iGive.com/Amazon, or click on an Amazon link in the button, or in the iGive newsletter, or on the iGive website. If you don't start with us, you won't get it. And this is the page that you would be taken to. And again, if you don't have a charity that you want to support, they also have some spotlight charities that you can choose.
So there's a really important thing that Leonard just mentioned there, which is one other special thing about Amazon is that they have opted out of the automatic tracking through the iGive button.
Right.
So if you want to visit Amazon, we make it, and you have the button installed, we make it really easy. If you click the button, the seed icon, there is a menu option that says Amazon.com. You can actually see it on the top right corner of this slide that Lana is showing you, and that'll take you.
It keeps going away. I apologize.
That will take you right to smile.amazon.com, and you will be ready for the double dip.
Terrific. And by the way, when you get to the smile.amazon.com, because this is another frequently asked question that we get in support, is, well, I used my iGive sign-on and it didn't work. Your iGive sign-on doesn't work here. Once you've gone to this page, you are now on Amazon's program, so you need to either create your own sign-on with Amazon or sign in yourself.
Okay, I'm not seeing your updated screen.
Ah, you're not seeing my updated screen. Okay, well, let's see. Did that work? Interesting. Okay, well, we've gotten to the point anyways in our presentation where we are looking for answering your questions. So I hope that people will start posting, and I see that we have a couple here, so let me pop one out and let's see. So how can you delete a member who has never participated is a question. That's a great question, Shelley, but unfortunately the answer is that you can't. We do not allow anyone other than the member themselves to be deleted from the program. Remember that there is very little harm or risk to you if that member is still receiving emails from iGive. The only, sort of private information would be to say that that your cause got a check, and that the cause received a check. But other than that, they're not actually getting the check, and they're not actually doing anything. So just because they've never participated, you cannot, as a cause administrator, delete them. The member would have to delete them themselves.
So I want to remind everybody that anytime you have a question or you have any kind of a problem or concern, please go out to support.igive.com. We've got a bunch of articles in our knowledge base out there that many of which will immediately solve your questions or answer your questions.
And we can go there just now. Diana is asking, what if the member is dead? I guess if the member is dead, if you could have a member of the family email us and let us know that the member is no longer living, and we would be happy to help remove that. Yeah. So I just wanted to show everyone, we're going here to support.igive.com, but it's not showing up. I'm wondering, oh, let's see. There we go. That should take, there we go. So now it is showing up. So this is support.igive.com, and what you'll see here is, first of all, that we have some news, although I guess I have to update the recent news. And you can click on the knowledge base, and the knowledge base has pretty much any question you should probably want to ask, should have the answer in there somewhere. But if you are having a problem, you can click on tickets right here, and it would tell you to choose one. So let's say you're a cause administrator, you want to click on cause support, you would click on continue, and you'd fill it out and put in what's going on. There is a section for attachments. That can be really important. If something specific is going on that you can see, or you're wondering what it's looking like, please send us that, because it helps us to answer your questions more effectively.
So Paul asks, are only online purchases applicable, or is there any in-store buying that's a way to donate through iGive? So
very occasionally there are stores that will allow you to pre-select, and if you go to the iGive website and it says in-store redemption, you can click on that category and see if stores are allowing you to pre-select that as an option. But 98% of the time, Sandy, unfortunately, these are for online purchases.
But what you can do, a lot of stores allow for in-store pickup now.
Yes, but please be careful, because, for example, there are some merchants who put an exception on in-store pickup. So you do need to check that out. There's actually also a separate category that says in-store pickup. So just double check the exceptions. And by the way, this isn't an iGive issue, it's a store issue. They change their mind sometimes. So the store you picked it up from yesterday may say no today. So just before you make your purchase, double check and make sure that the in-store pickup still allows you to get a donation.
So if there isn't an exception that we have listed on the iGive site about that merchant, about in-store redemption, what you can do is you could actually, if you want to go into the store because you want to see it and you want to see how it looks, how it sounds, how it feels, whatever it is you're talking about, or a big appliance or whatever, you could, in theory, via your cell phone, make that purchase over the web, set it for in-store pickup, and get the donation made that way.
Absolutely, and then there's a third thing that I'll suggest. So we have a number of vendors who specifically provide gift cards, and they are vendors who provide gift cards. So if you know that you're making a big purchase and it's something that you really want to touch and feel and play with, and you don't want to order it online and you don't want to do in-store pickup, but you basically know how much it's going to cost, you might consider ordering yourself a gift card and then using that gift card to make the purchase as well.
So just like Lena was talking about the in-store redemption, we've got categories on our store list, and one of those categories is what Lena's talking about right now, gift cards.
Yeah.
So if the store supports donations, enabling donations through the purchase of gift cards, go check that out in the gift cards category, and you can see which stores allow that.
So this is a technology question, Sandy. Janice is asking, do you need the iGive icon on more than one browser? She uses Google and Firefox, and she has the iGive button on Firefox, but can it be on more than one browser?
It can be on more than one browser. You have to install it separately on each browser. And I would say if you use more than one browser, especially for shopping, then you definitely want to have the iGive button on both.
Yeah, because you don't want to be on the wrong browser and go, oh, I just shopped and I didn't realize it.
I was on Chrome. I should have done it on Firefox. Oops.
And unfortunately, because that's another support question we get a lot, that if you didn't start iGive, we can't get you credit after the fact. It's just that's a deal with the merchants, and the idea is once you've made the purchase, it's over and done.
So Janice just commented back as we answered her question that basically she's done a facepalm on that one before, having used Firefox when Chrome had the button and vice versa. There's another question out here, Lena, which is, can there be multiple administrators for a cause on iGive?
So the answer is yes and no. And the reason I say yes and no is that remember that all administrators have to have individual iGive logins. So your personal, so Sandy and I can actually administer the same account if we share the cause ID and password. I would caution you that you want to be really careful about how many of your supporters have the cause ID and password, because when you have that cause ID and password, you now have the ability to change where the checks are mailed to. You have the ability to see who all of your supporters are and that kind of information. But if you have someone that you really trust and you want to share responsibility, they would create their own individual membership login, and then you would give them that cause ID, that number, and the cause password, and then they could both administer the account.
So the short answer is yes, but remember, you have to be able to trust that person, and because you're giving them the keys to the kingdom,
cause.
And they can change the password. and then they've got access and you don't. So obviously it's got to be somebody that you trust if you're going to do that.
So one of the questions we got last night that I didn't see today but I'd love to answer is about the frequency of how often do you post. And I think you sort of alluded to it before, Sandy, when you were saying it's important to make sure that iGive isn't the only one posting, and to make sure that there's difference in feel and tone. You don't want every message coming out there on social media hitting someone over the head and saying, donate, join iGive, donate, join iGive. But how often do you think is appropriate to send a message?
You can certainly get away with once a month. Then nobody's going to be offended by getting one email a month or one post a month. You're going to get, from iGive, you're going to get, a couple monthly ones and possibly weekly join links. So you want to be posting content of your own, once a day, every few days. A lot of people put content out several times a day even. Now, you may not have time to do that, and that's fine, right? You got to find the balance that works for you and for your supporters. But again, you want to have a two-way conversation going. I'll come back to the concept of a shelter. Right? You might post about a picture of a certain animal that maybe you're featuring for adoption this week, or a new animal that just came in. You might post something about thanking somebody who is fostering an animal this week. Just mix it up. Even on the iGive Facebook page, we know that people like to see a lot of cute animals, cute fuzzy animals. Gets a lot of likes. But we try and do inspiring things. We try and talk about merchants who are doing good. We talk about causes that are getting highlights, and shoppers who have done some really big shopping and made huge donations for their causes. So mix it up. Try and cover a lot of different ground.
I think that's a great answer. Well, we'll give people another couple.
And try and do personal stuff. Not like, hey, I'm going to the store and does anybody want to come with me, right? But
that's a social media fail.
That's right. But if people see real faces, real people that they can identify with, real things that they care about, they will respond.
That is true. That is absolutely true. So we'll give you guys just another second or two to see if you have any additional questions. We do hope that this webinar was interesting and informative. We would love to hear from you what kinds of information you would like to see in future webinars. So either before we shut down, you want to post in the question box some ideas you have or topics you might be interested in, or always feel free to send that to us at support.igive.com and say, I'm looking for a webinar on this or that, because we want to keep the information valuable to you as members and as causes. But on behalf of the entire iGive team, we really do appreciate your being out there and helping us to help all of these great organizations and causes, and we are very much looking forward to hitting that $10 million mark maybe sometime in the next year.
And just a reminder, this webinar has been recorded, and we'll be posting it on our YouTube channel. and a link to that on support.igive.com. We've got a knowledge base article there that lists all of the past webinars with links to them. So it's really a nice idea if you go out there and you look at that article, you can see that there's other subjects that we've covered in the past, and you can go and you can watch those older webinars to see that content. And we are planning additional webinars in the future. I'm sure after today we'll be setting a date for the next one, and you'll find that information as well in that same knowledge base article.
So thank you very much for your time, and that we hope everyone has a great weekend.
Bye, everybody. Have a good one.